All right. Hello, everyone, and now welcome to a game between Ice Orc and HawK. This game taking place here on Northern Isle. Ice Orc spawning as the blue Orc player, going for Farseer Headhunters, going up against HawK, who has been opening up with Archmage and Footman. No big surprises here as we rush to that 8-minute mark in the game and see HawK going after this Northern Creep Camp off here. Meanwhile, back down to the south side here, Farseer are going to go ahead and clear out this Murloc creep camp, getting that first initial grunt and then perhaps transitioning now into headhunters. We'll keep track of when that tech to tier 2 does begin or if we will be looking at militia. HawK is still training up some peasants here, so it looks like we are going to be going into a fast expansion off to the north here as this 543 or 5422 creep camp gets cleared up. Tuskar Trapper goes down, now going after those ice trolls and that ice troll priest. Ogre Magi absorbing quite a bit of damage. Meanwhile, the Farseer now making its way back over and will come across this Archmage who is already sitting at level 2. Creep Camp has already been cleared up. We should be looking at perhaps an Arcane Tower here as we do see that there is some Spirit Wolves already rushing and running about. All right, that wolf will not get very far at all. Meanwhile, Farseer does go for Wolves, Grunt, and Headhunter here, trying to rack up a little bit more damage. Farseer trying to gain a bit more experience, still sitting at 1.4 after all this time, as the Footman will disengage and re-engage a handful of times here. Murlocs joining in on the battle, coming in while getting in a bit of free damage, as it looks as though the expansion was actually stopped or perhaps stalled a little bit. All right, so that is going to be a lot of peasants on lumber. HawK greatly changing his game plan suddenly instead of going for that fast expansion as I initially expected, but he will be behind in terms of the tech race. Farseer still looking to get in some light damage across all of these footmen and water elemental. Army sizes are relatively the same here as the Archmage does try and retreat back. Archmage does have boots of speed, and are we looking at, yes, we are looking at once again Ice Orc coming in with that harassment as we are getting in 2 Spirit Wolves, 1 Grunt, and 2 Headhunters. Farseer, however, does have those boots of speed, will be able to retreat back very, very easily as the Farseer now benefits from these trailing creeps and able to pick them off as they try to just return back to that creep camp. Farseer now up to 1.7. Meanwhile, we are looking at Militia being called over Archmage, now looking to perhaps get up to level 3 at this on the Archmage here, but that could be a little bit of a dangerous proposition. Who's going to get the experience? Archmage gets the level 4 creep, and now new Spirit Wolves are being summoned up. Archmage wanting to finish off that Ogre Magi Militia, now trying to get cleared back here. 1 Militia down, a second Militia going to get taken down, giving level 2 to the Archmage. All right, Archmage, however, gets up to level 3, picks up a Potion of Greater Mana, and well, more importantly, has level 2 water elementals here, but is taking quite a beating from Ice Orc, who has picked off a handful of those footmen and militia. A significant size advantage for Ice Orc now, 23 supply compared to 14, even though he does have a level 3 to level 2 advantage. Now, Tech to tier 2 is nearly done. Arcane Vault is done here. We are training up Rifleman and the Archmage, looking to perhaps put some pressure onto the Orc Burrows as they are getting constructed, or as we are building that tech to tier 2, or that tier 2 tech. Excuse me. Spirit Lodge, Bestiary most likely will follow as well. 1 Water Elemental, 1 Footman, and 1 Archmage may not be able to do all that much, but remember, there is that Potion of Greater Mana. So 2 level 2 water elementals going up against Orc Burrows who do not have reinforced defenses. That does start to take a bit of a toll. Archmage able to push back that Farseer before the Farseer has been able to pick up a healing salve, and now the Farseer in a bit of a run and down to 80 hit points and still trying to retreat back away. Ice Orc desperately trying to save that Farseer. Is the Archmage going to double back around? No, ends up having to retreat as well as the Tauren Chieftain is there to greet that Archmage. All right, Farseer, Clarity Potion going to heal back up. Meanwhile, Water Elementals, well, going to get picked off by a group of Headhunters, getting in a bit more experience again, as the Archmage here has not picked up a second hero yet, instead training up a Mountain King, and will be using up a healing scroll a scroll of regeneration, excuse me, once that Mountain King pops out, nope, decides against it. Farseer now returning the favor. HawK trying to punish his opponent while he has the opportunity. Rifleman could have easily finished off one of those Spirit Wolves for a little bit of experience, but I guess that sliver of experience not going to matter all that much, as the Farseer is also getting close to level 3. Scroll of the Beast picked up by that Tauren Chieftain. We could be looking at a very strong timing attack from that Tauren Chieftain if he gets to level 2. Level 3, double level up could be in order. There's that Farseer already at 3. Tauren Chieftain gonna, stay at, could get to level 2 now that the Farseer has backed away. Pretty much on the money right there. Both heroes getting a level up. Level 2 Tauren Chieftain with Endurance Aura and Stomp. Farseer with level 3, at level 3 with level 2 Spirit Wolves and level 1 Chain Lightning. Mountain King doing some work here, picking up a Belt of Giant Strength as well. Scroll of Regeneration could be in order. Farseer is going to try and Chain Lightning across all of these units, as we are getting up Priest and Rifleman as well. Tauren Chieftain wasting no time, continuing to gain more and more experience, and nearly at level 3 himself. If we do see a level 3 Tauren Chieftain going up against a level 1 Mountain King, that level 2 Stomp will greatly outclass that level 1 Stormbolt. And, even with the help of the Brilliance Aura on the Archmage, the Mountain King just will not be able to get enough damage or be as effective as he truly wants. We are looking at Marketplace being cleared up. Tauren Chieftain will be getting to level 3 here. There it is. Farseer or Archmage now running out and actually could get caught out in a very, very dangerous or situational position as the Archmage going after this peon here. However, the main army of the Tauren Chieftain now making its rounds as well. Do we see a Scroll of the Beast? Yes, we do. Scroll of the Beast. We are also looking at some great items on that Tauren Chieftain. Level 2 Stomp instead of Shockwave, however, meaning that it's not going to be as effective against these buildings. In comes HawK for the defense here. Is it going to be able to hold? Meanwhile, the Arcane Tower already getting pecked across. And one thing to note, though, is that we are looking at Headhunters, not Berserkers. So the Berserkers have significantly less hit points. And that Mountain King could perhaps finish off quite a bit of units here. Mountain King, however, currently low on mana. There is a giant Stomp for about 7 units there. Many of them, however, just peasants, as the Mountain King doesn't have the Stormbolt mana to clear out more. Perhaps the Archmage should give the Potion of Greater Mana to the Mountain King. There it goes, getting transferred over. He also needs a Clarity Potion and perhaps also those Boots of Speed to try and run down and chase down units. Scroll of the Beast was used, though, so that window of opportunity is quickly closing as the Scroll of the Beast, that roar, will be coming to an end. Mountain King going to try and pick off some units. There we are. There is a Stormbolt. Are we going to see a Thunderclap? No, there's a Stormbolt. Are we going to see a Thunderclap now? Mountain King has plenty of mana, and wow, look at all of those low hit point units quickly to get counteracted by a Scroll of Healing. Archmage continuing the fight. There is another Thunderclap right there. Militia now coming back off to the north. Both sides are picking off units. 39 supply compared to 45, as both sides are just taking so much damage, trying to finish off more and more units. There are more Headhunters low on hit points, able to retreat back. But that fight definitely going in favor of HawK, being able to push all of that back there. And now we see, lots of Scrolls of Regeneration being used across multiple units. Remember, when you see a lot of healing units on Orc, that usually cost about 200 gold as opposed to the 100 gold coming in from HawK. So HawK definitely having the advantage here. All right, Rifleman shooting the broadside of a Great Hall, able to take it down quickly. Meanwhile, Raiders coming across, getting a couple of ensnares. There goes a Stomp. One good defeat deserves another. A Priest and a Rifleman both get taken down and leave behind a handful of low hit point summons and units. Interestingly enough, though, Ice Orc still sitting at tier 2. So that tier 2 strategy with mass Headhunters instead of Berserkers has a window of opportunity of being useful. As the Mountain King gets to level 5, and once at level 3, that Thunderclap already becomes scary. And at level 5, that Mountain King will simply be able to slow clap those Headhunters into oblivion, as well, the Mountain King with enough mana from that Archmage, level 2 Brilliance Aura, most likely, going to be able to pick things off. All right, are we going to be looking at a Stormbolt on any unit? Stormbolt onto a Shaman. You remember that is only the level 1 Stormbolt variety, as we are looking at trackers now getting cleaned up. Archmage, Mountain King, well, benefiting from a bit of trailing creeps this time around. A 655 creep camp gonna get cleared up as peasants now reach back, and now, well, Orc came back around. In comes the Stomp, in comes Chain Lightning, in comes Lightning Shield as the Tauren Chieftain is racking up large amounts of damage. All right, well, Dispel Magic removing that Lightning Shield already as the Tauren Chieftain once again gets in a beautiful stomp across a half a dozen or so units. Tauren Chieftain still fighting its way through. Archmage gets up to level 4 now with Brilliance Aura at level 2. Tauren Chieftain continuing to fight back here as the peasants, well, not very useful any longer, but a big Thunderclap and Chain Lightning is just causing units to die on both sides. All right, Grunt is going to get taken down. Rifleman going to get taken down. So many units getting taken down on both sides. Even the creeps are joining in on the fight here as the Mountain King could perhaps get off a Stormbolt here to try and finish things off. Are we going to see a low hit point Headhunter getting taken down? Yes, giving level 4 to that Mountain King. Level 4 Mountain King with a great deal of mana. Sorcerers are going to get finished off here. Archmage sitting at level 4. Mountain King already back up. Great deal of mana there, as the Mountain King may want to try and benefit from some from some clarity potions. Mountain King at level 4, dual level 4 heroes, and HawK really playing a great game here. Momentum is on his side as long as IceOrc does not get this expansion up and make the game go long. Once the economic advantage is back in favor of IceOrc, he'll be able to rebound faster. So this is going to be a pretty big fight. If he doesn't win here, he needs to damage his opponent enough so that he's not going to be able to rebound and get too far ahead. Peasants still here fighting away. Mountain King still having 200 mana into this front line position. 2 Thunderclaps, possibly even 3, with that Brilliance Aura still supplementing that Mountain King's mana. All right, peasants continuing to fight, trying to clear things up here. There's a couple of purges. HawK could end up losing that frontline water elemental again. Frontline water elemental with his slow positioning. There it goes. Purge, well, making things difficult there. Meanwhile, peasants are trying to join in on the battle here. There's some repairs as well. What is going down here? Mountain King gonna come back across. There was a lot of peons joining in on the battle here, but that Thunderclap really not that impressive. Mountain King looking to fight back against the Orc army. Meanwhile, HawK unsure of to take down the Great Hall or to take down the army. The army can fight back, not the Great Hall all that much, as this is a tough spot to be in. Lightning Shield now coming back across, followed by a stomp there. Mountain King low on mana, needs a little bit more, as we're going to be looking at, well, Priest getting taken down. 42 supply compared to 45. Both sides going back and forth. There goes a Raider. Are we going to see more Raiders fall as well? 36 supply compared to 45. Leveling up is going to be key. Kodo Beast trying to go after some units. Last second Stormbolt coming in for the save. That is a lot of low hit point grunts right there. One grunt getting taken down. There goes another Kodo Beast, as a grunt could end up getting cleaned up nicely as well. All right, plenty of priests nearby. One grunt, that's going to fall. And in the final moments, it looks like HawK is going to take this game. A beautiful game. HawK versus IceOrc going back and forth, as HawK winning out in 2 of the 3 categories, but really that game was much closer up until the very end. A razor's edge match, where the final micro deciding much of that fight. It looked like HawK perhaps could have let the game slip away. That Mountain King trying to hold off the entire Orc army. He was starting to suffer a little bit of damage. Then IceOrc decided to pull the trigger, dive on in with those grunts, with those Kodo Beasts. And, well, beautiful play by HawK, trying to bait that attack, being able to constantly pull back with those range units, allowing, well, trailing damage until eventually, all of IceOrc's units pretty much fell except the heroes. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed it.